Welcome back to my channel. So in this OCI series we will be talking about the Oracle Cloud infrastructure. So we are going to see the architecture. So basically the architecture will consist of certain important terms that will be regions, availability domains and fault domain. Now what are these? So regions are basically considered as a specific geographical area where the particular data center is hosted. So that can be any specific location, like for example it can be something like as in Mumbai region in India. Next we have availability domains. So availability domains are isolated data centers within a region. So in a region, if we talk about a region, so within a region we can have multiple availability domain inside it. So they are called as availability domains. So they are isolated from each other in terms of hardware, but they are connected with a high bandwidth and low latency network, so that we can go ahead and create a specific DR or replicated systems between the availability domains. So a particular region can have one or more than one availability domains. So there are few regions like Ashburn and Phoenix, so they are having around 3 availability domains, and other regions might be having only one availability domain. So minimum we will see one availability domain associated with each region. And next with the fault domain, so each availability domain, whatever availability domain are there, we will have multiple fault domains associated with them. So what are these fault domains? These fault domains are actually grouping of the hardware and the infrastructure within an availability domain, and they are also called as a logical data center. Okay, now whenever we choose a region, so how we choose a region? So regions can be across the globe, various regions can be given. So regions are basically divided even in terms, if we talk about in the terms, so we will see most regions that are there, that will be comprising of regions like, there can be commercial regions, then you can see regions as government region, then Oracle also provides you with cloud at the customer option. At customer, with Oracle Cloud we can also have the facility of a multi-cloud or we can have a hybrid system where you are using the capabilities of your both on-premises and as well as the cloud. So these are the various regions, and these regions are across the globe and can be used by the customers as they need them. So how these regions are decided? So the important point to choose a region will be based on the latency or the locations from where you are going to access that particular region. So one of the tool that you can use is this particular cloudpingtest.com, where if you go to cloudpingtest.com you will see something like this, and in this specific you can select for any specific cloud and see what is the latency that you are getting, so that based on this you can decide which region you will be using or which would be the preferred region for your data or the workload. So let's select the Oracle Cloud for now, and as soon as we click it, automatically it will start detecting and seeing what would be the latency test. So it will check for all the regions that are there, and their names will be displayed it here. So right now if you see, there are certain regions which are like quite from my current location India. So you see the latency test results are quite different. So if I talk about the minimum one, you will see most of the minimum will be from India West, that is the Mumbai region. So this test will continue running, and it will keep running test 0, test 1, test 2. Based on that we can decide which region would be the best one to choose that. So if we want to stop this, so we can simply go ahead and stop that particular test. If I don't stop, it will start doing a next test also. So for now test 1 was started, so it will complete the test 1. So based on this we can decide which regions will be considered. Once we find out, then we also have to choose the region based on the compliance or the data compliance from any specific regulatory authority. So if the government or the specific regulatory authority wants that, okay, you want to go ahead and use a particular region only, so in that case you have to select those specific region. Now what happens, let's say if the data policy is there that your both the region should be in the same country, if you are doing any type of DR or the high availability systems, so in that case you need to make sure that while choosing the region you have to make sure that they will have two different data centers. Like for India we will have Mumbai and Hyderabad. Okay, so in case I want to build anything compliant with the policies, so I might need to select the India region. And then there might also be the case of the service availability, that there might be certain service that are available within a specific region only. So in that case you have to choose that region if you want to go ahead with any particular services. Now if we see, so the architecture would be something like, you at the top you will have to select the region, then based on the region then you will select the availability domains, and in availability domain we will have the fault domains there. So availability domain, the hardwares are isolated from each other and they are fault tolerant, and it's very unlikely that they all will fail at the same time. So the physical infrastructure will not be shared between these availability domains. So in case we see that, okay, any specific instance goes down for any specific reason, if anything is going down, the other one would be running. If we have done any replication there, so that will be used for running. So those availability domains will be available in that region. Same way, if we see, each availability domain will have 3 fault domains. For regions it was that it will have one or more availability domains, but for availability domains each availability domain has 3 fault domain, and it will be termed as a logical data center within an availability domain. So if you want to have an high availability system created within a availability domain where you have only one availability domain, there we can use the concept for the fault domain. So any resource that you place in a specific fault domain, so let's say if I'm placing something here, and if one fault domain fails here, other fault domains will be available if we have an high availability defined between the fault domains. Okay, so any specific single point of failure will not affect the other fault domains here. So if a region has 3 availability domains, so each availability domain will have its own 3 different fault domains for them. Okay, so even if there are any changes made to any of the fault domains, that will not cause any problem to the other fault domains. Okay, so whenever we are creating any compute instance or the database instances that we will going to do in further sessions, we will see that how we are choosing the region, availability domains and the fault domains as required. Okay, so whenever we are designing any specific system, we can go ahead and define our systems between various fault domains. So let's take an example. If we are creating a rack database in a availability domain, if we create, so what we will do, we will keep the node 1 of that rack database, node 1 on one fault domain and node 2 on the other fault domain. Okay, so we can keep it on two different fault domains for the nodes. But now let's say if you want an high availability between different availability domains, then what we need to do, then we need to do a replication in another availability domain and in its specific fault domains here. So if they have a fault domain here, so I will say node 1, node 2. Now as you know, if we have multiple systems, so we might need a concept of data guard to do the syncing between the two different high-level systems. Okay, so this will help us to avoid any type of failure. So depending upon the need, we can configure it. So here what we are doing, we are getting the concept of that your specific instance is available any point of time. Even if one node is going down, other will be available. Whereas with multiple availability domain, what we are doing, we are making sure that our data is available any point of time. So we are doing it available data there. So that will help us to design the system. But if a specific region has only one fault domain, then you might need to use this particular method. Okay, also there is a concept of region pair. So in a region pair, what happens in case one region fails? So in region pair, the two regions are interconnected. How they are interconnected, that we will see in further sessions. So if any specific region fails, the other region will be available for the availability. So this can help us against any type of disaster, any type of natural disaster, so that our data is safe. So if we are keeping, let's say, one data in somewhere in US, the other we can keep somewhere in India or Singapore, so to avoid any type of disaster or calamities. So that will help in the region pair concept. So for more details, I will always recommend go ahead and read the Oracle documentations. So I am trying to explain it in an easy way so that we can proceed further on our lab and we can perform more sessions practically to make the things more easier. Thank you for this video. See you in next video. If you like this video, please subscribe, share and hit the like button.